Hi everybody, it is 11 minutes past 2 on the afternoon of the 19th of April 2022, which can mean only one thing. DayZ update 1.17 for PC, Xbox and PlayStation is going live as we speak. Take a big breath. So what we're going to be doing in this video is going through the blog post from the DayZ devs. We'll go through the patch notes for console and PC just to see if they've snuck anything in that we missed before, and then I will point you in the direction of my hands-on with what's new in DayZ 117 video, which will be a link in the description below this one. So excuse me, I've just taken a big gulp of Coca-Cola and are feeling very burpy. Greetings survivors. Update 1.17 just went live on all platforms. While we're already hard at work on the next update, this article will elaborate on the most important aspects of 1.17. Our primary focus this time around was on the themes of accessibility and crafting. If you're interested in seeing a full list of the updates, additions, changes and fixes, then head on over to our official forums, which we will do in just a minute. One of the key parts of Update 1.17 is the addition of new sensitivity settings, which offer players the ability to adjust the sensitivity of their controls in different scenarios, such as aiming, moving and steering. Another important part of the update is the revised existing control scheme for controllers, the addition of an alternative control scheme and a large bug fixing pass on the variety of control related issues. The alternative scheme gives us room to adjust the controls without affecting the existing scheme in a major way and enable us to resolve some long-standing issues with the existing scheme. Absolutely. So, one of the big problems for me with the existing controller scheme was the fact that when you wanted to do a hard hit, you had to press and hold, was it X or Y on Xbox and triangle, I think, or square on PlayStation. And so if you wanted to do a hard hit on a zombie who was running at you, it's very difficult to time it. You don't have to do that anymore on both controller settings. I think it's whatever the top button is, like Y on Xbox, I think, and triangle on PlayStation. We'll be processing feedback from the stable branch of 1.17 and possibly adjusting the alternative control scheme further. Control schemes can be changed while in the main pause menu through the control screen. Now, I have done a video on showing you how to do that. Very important point there, and I will put a link to the Behemoth Interactive feedback site below this video. It's so important with a small development team like they have on DayZ that if you come across the problems, that you report it to them. Now, what I'm going to be looking for when I fire up DayZ on my PlayStation or Xbox pretty soon is whether they've sorted out the inverted camera problem. So in experimental, if you inverted the camera on that sort of person and you aim down sight, it got rid of the invert, so it made it impossible for me to play. So hopefully they've sorted it out. They did say they had in a response to the bug report I submitted. We're also looking into the Voip and added some quality of life improvements to the UI, such as icons being shown only when transmitting, while having the new voice activation mode enabled, a release delay for the push to talk mode, and the ability to change the Voip distance on a controller. Fantastic. You can see the new band Improvised Clothing. Oh dear. We have made the changes with the action system and unified the way a player can switch between actions with the same initial conditions. This is now done by tapping up or down on your mouse wheel or up and down on the controller's D-pad, which makes cycling through different options much faster and more straightforward. It's best to dive in and have a look at the game to kind of explain that a little bit better. There's the improvised stick sort of cooking thing, which is cool. Crafty survivors can now make an improvised gas mask filter, a belt out of rope, a cookware stand for a fireplace, and a whole new set of improvised clothing made out of rags. You see, there's the rag, makes you look like a mummy. Bit odd, I'm not going to lie. There's the stick stand. These guys have got spears as well. The crafting of a stone knife has been revised, and bones can now be used to craft a bone knife. Meanwhile, both improved knives can be used to craft an improvised spear. Some non-craftable melee weapons have also been added, such as a meat tenderizer, which works as a weaker hammer, a cleaver, and a pitchfork. They're going to be interesting to use. Speaking of weapons, because one of the most underrated zombie or infected melee weapons was the hoe. Oh, the hoe was amazing for taking out zombies. Speaking of weapons, the selection of civilian firearms has been expanded and now includes the CR550 Savannah, a powerful .308 hunting bolt-action rifle, as well as the .308 Longhorn pistol, which is a break-action pistol, like a shotgun. So you open it up and put the bullet in, and the legendary P1 9mm, which it's like a Luger or a Walther PPK. It's like a James Bond kind of gun. There you go. So there's the improvised gas mask there that you make out of a water bottle, and I've done a video about it, but I can't remember how you do it. You make it out of a water bottle and some duct tape, maybe. You add charcoal tablets to it. I remember that to load it. I think it's a water bottle. All right, it's a water bottle and a dust mask. That's the thing, not a surgical mask, a dust mask. And then you put the charcoal tablets in it to make it work. There's the Longhorn. It's like a hunting pistol. In terms of features, we've changed the way gas mask filters work. They can now be refilled with charcoal tablets, but can also be damaged over time. Cookware gets slowly damaged when used, and heat sources such as torches, vehicles and power generators now increase a player's heat comfort. Only fireplaces were considered a source of heat in the past, so presumably that also means that you can get burnt by torches as well if you get too close, if you put them in the ground. We've also added some minor updates to both official terrains in preparation for much larger changes which will be coming to Livonia later this year. Walpurgis Night. Last but certainly not least, we'll be kicking off Walpurgis Night event alongside 117, which will run from April the 19th to May the 9th. So that's Witches Night. So that's when these bonfires sort of become available, isn't it? Note from a survivor. Here we go. Look out for Easter eggs. The flowers are blossoming at the hint of spring. Today was extra strange as I seem to have been robbed and kidnapped, left on the beach with nothing but a glow stick and a plum. I've noticed that I'm not the only one to have been stripped of all their possessions and plan to run inland to avoid any survivors who've suffered the same fate. I can only assume that witchcraft is at play, or maybe I've lost my mind. I've seen the return of bonfire beacons in the far distance and concluded that Walpurgis Night has returned. The time has come once again to raise our pitchforks and fire-wielding brooms. So basically, this is on public servers anyway. It's a wipe as well. So when you do jump into public servers, you will find yourself on the beach just as they see. Let's open that tab up. So we'll look at Walpurgis Night in a sec. So you'll get burning stakes, cauldron, witch hat, witch hood, birch broom, and crooked nose. See you there, survivors. On behalf of the team, Adam. Fantastic. So let's have a quick. All right, here's a video of Walpurgis. So I'll put. In fact, you can just watch that, can't you? Yeah, let's just we'll just leave that there. So, fantastic stuff. Let's look at the. So we'll look at the console patch notes first. Let's see. Added the 550 Savannah rifle, the Longhorn pistol, the P1 pistol, the Craftable spear, bone and stone head variants, the pitchfork, craftable bone knife, cleaver, meat tenderizer, kitchen timer. It's the one that looks like a tomato from Vigor. Maybe that means that there's some radiation clouds coming. Craftable fireplace stand. Brooms can be lit and used as a torch. Improvised clothes from rags. Improvised rope belt. Improvised gas mask filter. Gas mask filters can now be refilled with charcoal tablets. Sensitivity settings for various scope options. New optional control scheme. Bark can be harvested with axes. Cookware is slowly getting damaged by being used. Gas mask filters get damaged while in use, as well as running out, I guess. Voice activation setting for voice chat. Scroll through multiple actions can now be done via the mouse wheel. New point of interest on Livonia. Various fixings. Changed. Reworked Nitsoi village on Chernarus. Added a new favourite server when already at max will throw an error. Blah, 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 blah. Cycle fire mode has been moved from D-pad left to left trigger when in raised hands, and D-pad right. While in vehicle, accelerate now behaves as an axis and can be modulated instead of just being on and off. Heavy attack is now triggered by press Y instead of hold Y. New optional control scheme. Mic continues to listen to the player for half a second after they let go of push to talk. All heat sources are now emitting heat. Drain and pour liquid actions are now properly separated. Adjusted the wolf model to allow a more precise headshot. The burning duration of torches now correctly depends on the amount of fuel. Cooking without lard, water, or water now reduces the weight of the burned food. Weapon sway increases while the character is rolling. Fireplaces start heating up the player character faster. Position of the light source for the Cycle 120 when only on a single headlight is on was set to the proper position. Players are no longer able to get into a vehicle while holding a heavy item. Stone knives can no longer be sharpened with a sharpening stone. Action inputs will be prioritised over inventory actions. Climbing a ladder before dropping your items. Closing the inventory wasn't possible with the view button after assigning an item to a quick slot. Updated the game credits. Alright, we've got known issues. Interesting. Nothing really about servers there, which is interesting. So let's have a look at the PC one. Blah, 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 blah. That's all the same. Modding, here we go. Now these won't necessarily apply to console as well as PC, but we're going to go through them anyway. Added animation phase started callback. Added ability to override the position of motor sounds for vehicles. Added exposed allow get damage to script. Added possibility to add multiple variants. Added support for angle altitudes and analysis length. Added path launch parameter. Added blah. Added more clock time of common functionality. Moved to the base class. Tree harvesting configuration. Data moved from script to configs. Fixed workbench crash when using undefined class in a template. Known issues. Landmine disappears after disarming. Thrown spears and sticks fall under the ground. Missing sound when base building or mining stones with a meat tenderizer. Player gets desynced when equipping a weapon after cancelling equip animation before. When kindling fuel items become ruined in a fire, player is unable to add the same item before the ruined one disappears. Roasting sound effect remains with cooking equipment even after the roasting is done. Raised flag and flagpole is missing an option to lower the flag. Okay, interesting. All good stuff. So if you look in the description below this video, you'll see a link to my hands-on with what's new update in 1.17. So that's where you can actually have a look at the Longhorn pistol, the Savannah sniper, the spear, and all that sort of stuff. Very cool update, I think. Nice solid one. 3 new weapons. Love these new crafting is always good. Spears is always good. You know, if we've got spears, does that mean arrows are on the way? Does that mean then bows are on the way? But bug fixes are always pretty cool too. All you got to do, you know, is jump on DayZ, download the update, and get playing. What do you think? Put your questions and comments down below, and I will of course see you again soon.